All right, guys, we appreciate you so much for joining us for the WYTV7 Community Broadcasters Youth Financial Literacy and Health and Wellness Workshop. I am Lynn Demons. That's Demons, no demons here, Demmons. And I also have my co-host, Miss Sandy. Sandy, go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
Hey guys, I'm Sandy White from Simply Fit, your #1 health and wellness cheerleader, and I will be teaching you guys about the health and wellness portion in the seminar to show you guys how when you eat properly, how it affects your mind, body, and soul. And when those elements are off, it does affect the way you spend your money. So we're going to have a good time today.
Appreciate you for taking your time. For my students, we'll say thank you for being respectful, responsible, and ready as we join in and have this conversation today. But the first question we want to ask you is, would you rather? So you probably played this would you rather game with your friends. Would you rather have $1 million today or have a penny doubled every day for 30 days? Someone go ahead and place a 1 in the chat if you'd rather have $1 million today, or place a 2 in the chat if you would rather have a penny doubled every day for 30 days. And for those of you who need no introduction, many of us need no introduction to Zoom these days, but the chat feature, you should see your icon so you can respond. And I do see some responses coming in. So, all right. Thank you, Javon, you're in the 12th grade. Awesome. Thank you for joining us. All right. I have a #1 and I have a #2. Okay. So, if you don't mind, Dufay, why would you rather have $1 million today?
I'll rather have 1 million because it's like if I have a lot already, I could probably like invest in things today and then instead of after 30 days. I don't know, something like that.
Okay, and you would start investing today immediately if you had that $1 million right away. All right. I also see Javon, you said the same thing. Why would you say $1 million today?
Hello. I would have, I changed it to 2 because if you have 1 penny doubled every day for 30 days, it would, I don't know, okay, so 1 penny goes to 2 pennies, and then 2 pennies goes to 4, and then eventually gets up to, let me
help you out.
Yeah.
All right. See what happens?
That would happen. So it's just going to double. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but I can see that 5 million is more than 1 million.
Right. 5 million definitely is more than 1 million in a 30-day time period, right? Starting out with 1 million on day 1, you would say, but yeah, Lynn, I can go ahead and invest, but think about how long it takes your money to double in a traditional investment market. So I'm glad we're having this conversation right off the cusp, because it helps us to start thinking too. There's something in money called the rule of 72. And the rule of 72 basically helps you to decide, looking at the amount of interest, right, that you get in an account, how long is it going to take your money to double? All right. So earlier, Dufay, you mentioned the fact that you wanted to know more about saving more. If we put our money in a traditional bank today, do you have a traditional bank account right now? You don't have to say anything. I just want you to think. It's either yes or no. Yes, I have a bank account, or no, I do not have a bank account. But if you do have a bank account as a student, and I'm hopeful that you do, if you don't, you need to go set one up today, all right? You can do an online bank account if you choose, or you physically go into the bank and set up a bank account, all right? Different, it doesn't matter, just make sure you get one. But if you look at a traditional bank account today for saving, the interest rate is well below 1% right now. And if it's well below 1% and you do the math, it's going to take you well beyond your lifetime, right, to grow or amass any amount of money, to double that $1 million, even if you just put it all in the bank. Put all your money in the bank and watch what they're going to give you. Less than 1% interest on your money for that year, versus taking this approach here. So the rule of 72 basically allows us to look at the amount of interest that's needed in order to double our money. Usually 8 or 9% interest will double your money in 7 years. So even with that $1 million invested in a vehicle that's going to pay you 9%, it's still going to take you 7 years to double just to 2 million, versus this 1 penny a day doubled for 30 days gets us to 5 million in 30 days. So the reason I'm having that conversation is we have to be intentional and thinking not only for the future, but also for today. What are we currently doing today that's going to help us to build our future, but we're careful not to miss the opportunity that are in our face. I'm hopeful that that makes sense for you as we move forward to the next step. So with that being said, the focus of our financial literacy lesson today is how to maximize those opportunities that you may have. Even though you are a student, you may say, well, I'm a child, I have many years in front of me, and you do. And that is an invaluable opportunity for you to have this conversation on this day, in this time, in this space. And just to go off track a little bit, because you guys are in high school, let me stop the share for a second. Have you guys been hearing about investing in like the Dogecoin and what's been happening?
Bitcoin, Dogecoin, all the cryptocurrency, yes.
Yeah, so you've been following that conversation, Javon? So what strikes you about that conversation right now?
Well, I think it's really funny because Doge and Dogecoin was a meme, right? And now it's an actual thing. And what's crazy about it is that it's like, very well, like in the hundreds or the thousands, I think, in terms of like it's like less than a penny right now. So like, if you were to invest in it now and like put in like $50 or even $25, and it gets up to a penny, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's going to be crazy, and people are actually investing in it. So if it goes above a penny, it's going to, I feel like it's going to break the economy.
Well, actually, Javon, that's happening now. So what I'm going to give you guys later is a link to a Robinhood link, so you can join up and you'll get a free investment share. If you use my account, I get a free investment share and you'll get one. But if you look at Doge inside of Robinhood, and I can pull it up right now because my son is 10 years old. And during the pandemic, he introduced me to the Dogecoin. It was a meme. He found someone on YouTube, right? And he was like, Mama, I want a Dogecoin. And I was like, buddy, that's not even real. But he kept reintroducing me to the conversation. And at the beginning of the year, so we decided, okay, and like you said, Javon, it was less than a penny at the beginning of the year, this Dogecoin. However, today, when I look at the Robinhood app, it has actually gone over, and at this current moment of this taping, now this is very volatile, and let me also say, this is for educational purposes only, all right? As we have this conversation, I am not your investment advisor. However, I am sharing with you what we have done in our family. So my little one, because he talked to me about this Dogecoin is currently 26 cents a coin now. Wow. When I actually decided to go ahead and get in, it was around 8 cents. So you can imagine the return on that investment just from talking to my child, okay? Just from talking to my child, we have almost, we've doubled the money from that investment. Now, remember, all investments are risky. That is an opportunity though, and do your research. So Javon, it seems like you were doing some research. You were already aware of what's been happening in that space, but I highly recommend and suggest that you guys stay on that tip, especially being at the young age that you are. investing for the future, because I'm a firm believer that we're called to build generational wealth. So you're building wealth not only for you, but your children's children. Thinking about that down the path that we continue to move forward in. But and to your point also, Bitcoin. Bitcoin started out cryptocurrency. It was the first cryptocurrency, right? Started out really low. Now it's in the 50,000s per coin. So, I mean, just making sure that you're staying on top of that, you're doing your research. There are different platforms that'll help to teach you how to do that stuff. Just make sure you do your research and invest responsibly. Okay, so we got a little bit ahead on that one, but I definitely wanted to have that conversation because it was very pertinent to how to maximize opportunity, right? How do we maximize opportunity? Maximizing opportunities in a variety of ways. So when we look at that, what we're talking about, what to do now, that's building your solid foundation, because without a foundation, things will crumble. Not to say that you won't lose occasionally when it comes to your money, but it's knowing how to structure your life, how to structure your finances, how to structure your health. With a strong, solid foundation, you will do well to continue and rebuild in the event stuff does happen. Scaffolding is the part about what to do later. How do you know what are you going to do down the road to ensure longevity, sustainability, whichever term you want to use there. And then implementation. I think that's the most important part. Is investment. And when I say investment, I'm talking about investing in yourself. You guys are investing in yourself today by being here for this conversation. And we definitely applaud you for that. However, we want you to continue to do that. You will be the lifelong learner, because there's always something to learn. There is an ever-changing environment and world that we live in, and there's always something to learn. So if you don't walk away with anything but that, then you've walked away with a lot, all right? Okay, so really quickly, I'm Lynn Demmons, and that's my little one. Remember it, the little one right here, holding up his honor roll certificate. That's the little one that introduced me to that Dogecoin that we were talking about earlier. But just some other things that I've done. That's my sister's graduation over there. I'm also a speaker. I had an opportunity to take a group of school leaders, principals, superintendents to China, down there in that bottom left picture. So several different things, so that you know the number one goal is to help you make your money, keep your money, and grow your money so you can do what you're called to do. And that's build generational wealth, all right? So you can also follow me at Dem and Speak on social media. My podcast is Financial Confidence, okay? So what I wanted to do first and foremost is to have you guys join me in a Kahoot financial literacy game. So if you'll go to kahoot.it, or if you happen to have the Kahoot app on your phone, I am going to pull up the code for you guys to join me in this Kahoot. So go to www.kahoot.it. My students, I know you know this because you probably play this at school when you're preparing for tests or assessments. If you go there, and I'll give you the code that I would like for you to join me for this part of the lesson. All right, so I'm going to Kahoot, and the code will be on the screen, 871284. 871284. All right, Dufay, I see you. All right, Cindy, I see you. All right, and Draca, I see you. All right, Javon, I see you. I'm going to go ahead and press start so we can go through 871-284, our financial literacy Kahoot. All right, which of the following is also called your gross income? Your gross income. So if you have a paycheck, which is your gross income? All right, so let's see, 2 answered that correctly. Your total earnings or everything that you bring in is called your gross income when you look at your paycheck. All right, people will tend to mix up your net income, but net income is after you've paid everything that needs to go outside of your check. If you've ever looked at that paycheck, when you first received it, you might be like, wait a minute, why is some of my money missing? Who is FICA, right? And all these other names that you may not have known, but your gross income is the total earnings. All right, good job, Dufay. You're at the top of our leaderboard. Okay, let's go next. What is also called earnings after taxes? Your earnings after taxes. All right, that is your net income, your earnings after taxes. So remember, your gross income was everything that goes in there, but what you actually bring home after all those taxes are paid, that is your net income, okay? All right, Dufay still in the lead. All right, let's go. What is also called payroll taxes? It's also called your payroll taxes on your check. All right, your income taxes. We just completed income taxes, and everyone has to pay taxes no matter who you are. It's just some of us, more than likely the wealthy, figure out what are those loopholes to get around some of those taxes, but everyone has to pay payroll taxes. Those are also known as your income taxes. And tax day is usually April 15th. They extended it this year because of the pandemic. But that was a recent occurrence as well. All right, Sandy moved into first, Dufay second, Javon third. Okay. Which of the following shows when a budget is balanced? How do you know that your budget is balanced? All right, so when we talk about a budget, the question earlier was asked, how do I save more money? So you have to know not only how much money you make, that's your income, but how much money is going out, those are your expenses. And if your income is equivalent to your expenses, then you have what's called a balanced budget. Okay, if everything equals out, that budget is balanced. So you can account for everything. You can account for saving and investing. I always include those as expenses in my budget so that I know that I've balanced everything. And the reason that you want a balanced budget is you want everything to come out to zero. You want to account for every single dollar that comes in. whether it's from a job, it's from your birthday, you know, your grandparents give you money, your parents give you an allowance, you get some money that's been donated to you. It does not matter. You always want to balance that budget out to zero. So your income, every bit of money that's coming in, and the expenses, everything that's going out, your savings, your investing, your retirement account. Dare I say retirement? You guys are in high school, probably that's the farthest thing from your mind, but I definitely want you to consider all of those buckets as we start this conversation. Okay. So what is the total income? So we're looking at Dean's January budget. What is his total income? Come on, quickly, 2 seconds, 1 second. All right. So in order to get that total income over here, total income, all you have to do is add that up. His allowance was $25. His paper route paid him $20. So that was the total income from the January budget. Okay. Only one person answered. Where are the rest of my answerers? Okay, there you go, Dufay. I saw your score go up. All right, everyone's still in the same place. What's the total expenses? Using that same graphic, what are the total expenses? Just gave a little bit more time to add up. All right, so his total expenses were 50. Expenses column over here in the budget. So the cell phone was $18. By the way, that's a cheap cell phone, right? Expense. Books were $20, movie rentals $12. So we add those three together, you get $50 for expenses. But wait a minute, Dean has a problem. Dean has a major problem with this budget. His income coming in is $45, if we remember from the previous, and the expenses going out is $50, okay? Dean's short $5 every month if this continues. That is a problem, all right? So let's see what happens next. Okay. So what could Dean do to balance his budget? Dean had a problem. What does he need to do to balance his budget? Give a little bit more time, okay? Oh, I see why you said decrease his movie rentals by $5. I get it. I get it. Yes. Because he can't increase his savings if he does not have them. Let's go back to this one. Yep. Allowance, paper route. There is no savings column on here. So that was a mess up in the Kahoot, but that's okay. Y'all got it. He does need to decrease his movie rentals by $5. If he decreases that by $5, because this was 50, if he decreases that, right, then he would be able to balance that out. All right. I see why you guys said that one. Everything's going to stay the same on our scoreboard. Okay. Raul pays property taxes in Dallas. On which of the following might Raul pay property tax? You have to pay property taxes. Which one would you pay on? Right, good job. You pay property taxes on your home or your automobile, depending upon different states, but most every state requires you to pay property taxes on your houses, okay? Paying taxes is just a part of life, and we always need to make sure that we are aware of that as a part of our, not only our paying our bills, but also our spending, because there's taxes, that are tax implications in everything that we buy, all right? So even though we think about building a budget and in our saving and things of that nature, it's also important to know, so what is the tax implication of the purchases or the bills that I have to pay as you move forward to create that balanced budget to ensure you have enough money for you to go into your savings and things of that nature. All right, our leaderboard stays the same. Question 9 of 10, Lee pays 2 cents in sales tax for every dollar. If she buys $60 of items, what is the total cost? What is the total cost? Have about 10 more seconds. No last question, no last response. All right. So the total cost, $61.20. $1.20 is the tax when you do the $60 times the 0.2 cents. $1.20 needs to be added to the 60 because it's asking for the total. Okay, it's asking for the total. So don't forget to multiply, then add that back every time you make a purchase as a part of your expense column. All right. Okay, last question. Which of the following can Jose use if he wants to purchase an item at a later time? If you want to purchase an item at a later time, which could you use? Okay, I have our 3 answers in. I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Right. Okay, so 2 of you chose credit card, 1 chose a check. So when we say purchase the item at a later time, typically with a credit card, and this is going to be important, especially for you guys, if you're going to college, or even if you're starting a business and you want to build, some credit. You build business credit, you build personal credit. You need a credit card. That credit card is going to give you a 30-day window. So if up to a 30 days, some are 20 days. So make sure you know the parameters of your credit card. But that credit card is going to give you up to 30 days. So if you get a credit card, you purchase those shoes for $60, then you have until next month to pay for it later. So that's what it means by pay at a later time. If you take your check and you write a check and you pay for it, they're going to take that out of your bank account immediately, because now everything just processes directly through that register and it impacts your account within the day. All right. So thank you for playing with us in our Kahoot. That was just a very basic introduction to the different pieces of budgeting. All right. So when I look at this, let me close that out. Pieces. And Dufay, I remember you said earlier about more ways to save your money. And when we think about maximizing those opportunities, what are the opportunities that are available to us to be able to maximize our money? Let me make sure I share my screen. All right. So one of the important things that I also wanted to share with you here is that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. So let's put everything into perspective. Even though we're having this conversation about money, money doesn't make everyone happy, but money is necessary. All right. Please know that it is necessary. And it does afford you the opportunity to be able to do the things that you need to do. It's just a part of life. But as a student, as you're thinking about this and as you're building, make sure that you are prioritizing. What is the goal that you would like to set? And I want to ask you, Dufay, because earlier you said that you want to save more. Can you share with me a little bit more about where you are currently on your saving journey? Do you have one? Have you started? Have you been thinking about it? What does it look like for you?
Right now I just have like, a regular teenager debit card, and I just use that. I don't really have a savings account.
Okay, you have the teenager debit card, but no saving account. Okay. All right. And do you have a job as well?
Yeah, I work at Once Upon a Child, so retail.
Oh, okay, awesome. All right, so consignment, children's consignment clothing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So that's a great opportunity for you for now. I'm assuming, Dufay, you still live at home with mom, right? And dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you don't have, and the reason I say that is because if you were living out on your own, you have rent, you have, your car payment or your whatever, right? All of these different bills. But if you're living at home with mom, then that provides a different opportunity for you as far as what you can now do with your money as you prepare. And you're a sophomore, if I remember correctly. So this is a good starting point for you as far as your setting up your goals. One of the things that I would highly suggest or recommend, and that's for any teenager, any young child, preteen, teenager that's listening to this, is you actually prioritize and set up some goals around what your money looks like. So if you do have a paycheck or allowances or, other monies, birthday monies that come in, what I would strongly recommend that you do is separate into 3 buckets and do a third, and a third, because that's going to make your life easy. And you say, Lynn, what are you talking about? My child is 10 years old. And what I started doing with him, and this was actually when he was 3 years old, anything that he'd get, a third of it could be for spending, a third had to be for saving, and then a third had to be for giving, so that he would learn early, right, that he could give to whether that was at church, so he had his own money to put in church, or if he had, he wanted to give to a different organization, that he knew how to do that. But that's how I started him out really early. And I would suggest that you do that. Prioritize the different buckets for you. Now, you might not have the same buckets that I set up for him. That was when he was 3 years old when we set that up. But what are the buckets that you identify? What are the things that are priorities for you in your life? And then set those buckets aside. So since you mentioned saving, I would definitely have a spending account, have a saving account, but also have, and when I say saving, your saving is going to be not only traditional saving, but also something to start thinking about investing. But we're going to take the small steps like you see here on the screen, right? Start taking the small steps, and then we can build to the larger or the higher or the more complex steps, if you will. All right, I do see a question in the chat. So Javon, help me out. What do you mean by that in terms of savings? There's a greed problem. What, can you clarify that for me? So let me see. You'll save, then spend it. Okay, I get it. All right. And that's the norm. That's, you know, everyone goes through those phases. And you save up your money to get to a certain thing. So right now, we've been saving up our money during the pandemic so we can go. We're waiting, you know, to go to Disney this summer. And my little one has already planned out all the theme parks he wants to go to, all of the go-kart, the Andretti race cart thingies he wants to go to. We went through, we budgeted all of that out. We saved the money for that purpose. And I appreciate you saying that. And you do save for a purpose. But when you're saving, I want you to focus on what are my short-term savings goals versus my long-term savings goals. So for you right now, short-term saving goal, let me see what's going on. I see something in the chat, so give me a second. Okay, that's fine. It said you have like $300 and then it's gone in like 1.5 weeks, right? And I get that, but I think the thing that we have to work on, first of all, is thinking about the mindset, okay? Thinking about the relationship that you have with money, thinking about the relationships that you are learning in the environment that you're immersed in. Maybe your mom or your dad or your sisters, your aunties, your grandma, they have different things that they do with money and you're seeing that. And as a result of what you're seeing, you're also, in return, that becomes a behavior that you're acting out as well. So take some time to actually think about those behaviors that you have with that money. And why is it that when you do have that $300, it's gone in a week and a half? And then once you recognize what it is, then you can actually see, okay, is this something that's good, that's working on my behalf? Or is there something that is not working on my behalf? Then what are the steps that I can put in place so that I can change that behavior? So that's going to be the most important piece, I think, for us, right? Okay, good. You say that makes sense. Look and see what those behaviors are, because I can tell you and I'm sure everybody has a money story, but I can definitely tell you, my mom was a saver to the max. She can save any and everything that comes through the door. My dad was a spender, and I recognized that, right? So I saw the different dynamics. Fortunately, I gravitated to the side of my mom because I could see different things and, you know, how things played out in our families, of course. But then I also like my daddy's side, because when we wanted to do the trips and stuff in the summertime, we knew to go to daddy, right? And if we wanted to go do something else, we knew, okay, these are the conversations we need to have with mommy. But if we want to do this, we got to go to dad. So, and kids, I know y'all probably over there saying, yep, we know too, right? You play to the strengths that you notice, in the different dynamics you notice in your families. But I think that is very important. And I smile when I have that conversation, but it's very important that we recognize those behaviors and then we make decisions. What are the decisions that we're going to make as individuals in regards to what we want our future? Right, that's good. Javon said there are different perks and then others are crutches. Absolutely. They can be a crutch, but you can definitely maximize on those perks. What are the opportunities? Okay. So when we think about finances from that perspective, just thinking about the grocery shopper, right? That's your blueprint for spending, for saving, and investing. Every time you go to a grocery store, and I want you to think about why it is that those stores are laid out in the manner that they're laid out, right? When you go into whatever your favorite store is, think about it and think about the layout of that store. Because I guarantee you that the owners, the management have studied, they've observed every action of the shoppers that come into that store, and they know exactly where to place. Why do you think all of those magazines, candies, chips, Everything is aligned at the cash register, and even the little gift cards, right? Because they're intentional with every action to get you to buy. So I want you to think from that side for your intentionality, creating your blueprint for you as a spender, saver, and investor. Taking that analogy, and I know that Miss Sandy is going to be talking about grocery shopping and your health being definitely aligned to your wealth, but thinking about that as you are setting up your budget. Always balance out your budget to zero, but you need to account for what are you going to spend, what are you going to save, and what you are going to invest, okay? So very important also to consider as you're moving forward and you're going to college, because this is going to become ever more prevalent for you guys when you're in college. How do you now balance that budget for the different things that you're going to want? Maybe it's the different activities that'll be available to you on campus. Maybe it's just eating, right? You're out of your cash card on campus. And what are those things that you need to do? It can be real easy to get on the phone and just call home, call mommy and daddy. But there's a certain amount. I know my mom and my dad told me, okay, this is the amount of money that you get for this month, right? For your food. So I had to stock up my fridge. I had to understand how to budget that, because that was all I was getting, because they were tired of Lynn calling home, asking for more money every time they turned around, right? So think about that. Be intentional for you as you guys are moving forward. So your parents can say, wow, you know, Dufay, Javon, they were on it. I didn't have to worry about any of that. They always had their spending plan together. And they even had some savings in there coming out of there pretty golden, okay? One thing I want to put on the table for you, if you're born poor, it's not your mistake. But if you die poor, it's your mistake. So what does this mean? This is from Bill Gates, and he has a net worth. Actually, his net worth has gone up now. But at the time that I recorded this, I pulled this information, it was $92.5 billion. Okay, so what that means is there are opportunities out there that we need to be able to maximize, but you can't maximize those opportunities until you educate yourself on the different money vehicles that exist, right? How do you spend? How do you save? How do you invest? How do you use credit wisely? Because that's another conversation that's going to be very important when you go to college. I remember all of us, and I bet every adult on here can tell you, the number one thing that we saw on college campus was sign up for this credit card and get a free t-shirt, right? And we had all the t-shirts because we applied for all the credit cards, yes? So think about that. Don't fall for those traps. And if you do get the credit card, that's fine. Be responsible, because you definitely want to build your credit, but you don't want to go under. You don't want to do like in that Kahoot game. He had a $45 income, but a $50 expense in his budget, right? That's going in the hole month after month after month. Don't be like those adults. And that's the majority of adults, if we're being truthful, if we're being transparent. The majority of adults are in that hole and they continue to dig it for themselves. So students, don't fall into that hole. Go to the other side. Build the generational wealth. Build that investing plan. Be intentional with every act that's available to you, because you have the world in your hand. If you have a smartphone, you have the world in your hand. You have access to every bit of knowledge, every template that you need. It's all about you implementing and taking action. Those are your action steps. All right, guys. I want to make sure that I have not only introduced, but I have informed today and illustrated with you some different examples, how you can make your money, keep your money, and grow your money so you can do what you're called to do. That's build generational wealth and leave an inheritance for your children's children. All right, so I know it's time I'm going to take this time. Are there any questions before we get ready to take a quick break and transition to Miss Sandy for the next section?
I am Sandy White from Simply Fit, and I pride myself on letting you guys know that I'm your #1 health and wellness cheerleader, because there are a lot of things that go on in our life, especially right now. We have COVID going on, and we've got a lot of different elements that we're being thrown that we're not used to. And I just want to remind you guys what you need to do and why you need to do it. Because a lot of times that's all people need is a cheerleader to remind them what to do, how to do it, so that they're just getting simple tips and strategies so that they can make their life a sweatless, victorious, like a model for someone else. And I just want to let you guys know that I am a certified holistic health and wellness coach. I have been doing this for well over 20 years. I am a broadcaster on WYTV7. And I don't know, because I can't see myself anymore. Can you guys see this book? So I am one of the authors in this book. This is a book collaboration, Daily Dose of Declaration. And the reason I participated in this book is because I'm on a mission to save 1 million lives by encouraging individuals to live a simply fit life through health and nutrition, so that they're able to overcome suicide and depression. And the reason this is so prevalent is, especially with teenagers, when you guys leave out of the household, you're leaving out of your nest, and you are now responsible for so many things that you were not even made aware that your parents made everything look sweatless, victorious. And now you're on your own and you're like, oh my God, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I mean, and it could be very stressful. I mean, just washing clothes. Most of you guys don't even wash your own clothes. You don't definitely go to the grocery store. And so a lot of times when kids go to school, it's a joke, but it's not a joke. They call it the freshman 15. You gain a lot of weight. And that's because you're subject to a lot of stressors that you're not used to. And so there comes in, as you see my tagline, you start struggling with cravings, and you're trying to figure out what in the world is going on. You've got school, you've got study, you're trying to figure out, okay, I only get, as Lynn mentioned, you got your little card, I only got so much money that I'm getting a month, and well, we're going to help you balance that out, because when you eat right, your brain neurons function better, and then you can just pretty much relax, not be stressed out, and then you could do what you need to do and balance everything out. So what I'm going to be sharing with you guys, and we're not going to be able to get through everything, but I'm going to get through enough of it that you're going to be able to implement it in your life right now. And you don't need to worry about having willpower if you categorize everything and you make certain things a priority. And one of them is making sure your money is right. The other one is eating right. And then from there, it's pretty much sweatless. So we're talking about cravings, because once they get out of control, it's not moving on me. Okay. So once they get out of control, that's when you start spending your money that Lynn was telling you all about, putting them in different buckets. Now you're taking money out of different areas that were never intended for you to use for eating. So eating healthy is very important, because cravings can overpower you. And then you could just, as I mentioned before, you could feel like you're just struggling with everything: school, work, friends, family, and then depression sets in. We don't want any of that, okay? So I just want to let you guys know you are in the right place, and that I am passionate about health and wellness and nutrition, because it is important that these components work properly. Now, there's 7 culprits that will affect everything, and we're only going to go over one, but I just want to let y'all know I came up with a 21-day cleanse for people to not just lose weight. I noticed that I was losing weight, but it wasn't for that. I like things to be simple, sweatless. I don't really want to think about it, and I know I'm not the only one that don't want to think about a whole bunch of stuff. I want it to be just seamless. And so when you have things that you're doing and you feel like you're struggling, there lies bad choices, and then you end up eating the wrong food, spending more money. All right, so we don't want to have you guys doing that. So let me ask you this. How many of you guys, even though I know you're living at home, you find yourself eating the wrong things, even though you want to eat healthy and you have cravings? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have food cravings. and then actually type in which one of the food cravings you're having. And then Lynn, you'll have to unmute yourself because I can't see the chat. So are folks saying they have food cravings?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Sweets, chips, sweets.
I'm glad y'all put that down. You remember that slide that Lynn put up that had that candy aisle? And she asked you all, how many of you all know why stores strategically do that? You want to know why they do it? It's because we don't eat healthy, and then we take our money and we have to spend it in those particular aisles. And I'm going to get more into why you end up doing it, and you know you don't want to, but now you're like, okay, like that guy, he only had $45 for his income, but he was overspending, even though it was in movies. You can actually overspend your bucket that you have allocated for food on junk because your body is like, I need it. And you're like, this is crazy. But you end up spending it and you spend more and you're like, this makes no sense. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to help you. It's 3 strategies that you can use to stop with the cravings. And then that way you spend your money in the better ways. And one of the things Lynn talked about was investing. And if you could get in, stop spending your money where you shouldn't, which is excessive on junk food and all of that stuff, you can end up retiring before you even hit 30 if you are spending that money wisely and eating healthy. And it is a myth. I want to let you guys know it's cheaper to eat healthier than eating junk food. Junk food costs you more money down the road. And I'm just going to give you one of them. That's cavity. If you've ever been to the dentist, getting a cavity corrected is not cheap. And if you have to have a root canal, that's about $700 that you were not expecting to spend. So eating healthy is a lot cheaper than eating bad foods. All right. So again, I already told you guys, we're going to go through a lot, not every one of these slides. I'm going to go through skip some of them, but most of the information you can take care of right now. So the 7 culprits I am going to go through, and again, we're not going to hit on all of them. We're just going to hit on one major one because it's in everything that you eat. And how many of you all can figure out what that one component is, even though you think you're eating healthy, that's in everything that you eat that's causing you craving? Can y'all put that in the chat, what you think it is?
Sugar.
Yeah, they read. Yeah. And so we're going to be mainly talking about sugar. We're not going to talk about the other ones because sugar is in everything and it impacts you, and it is worse than cocaine. So that's horrible. And y'all know the effects of cocaine. That's a drug that people are addicted to. But this is why you can't get over your food cravings, is because they have it in everything. And so one of the things that you guys are going to have to do, and Lynn's going to talk about this at the end, we want you guys to have a field trip. And my field trip that I'm going to tell you about now is just completing a plate of what I'm telling you your plate should look like, and then a healthy treat. So that's 2 cups of vegetables, that's a fat, that's a protein, and a fiber. And then I'm not telling you to give up your sweets totally. I'm going to give you guys a link to the healthy treats. So what I'm saying is you may want healthy, you may want sweets, but they need to be within balance. And you also need to watch your fruits and vegetables, make sure they're on the low glycemic level, because you could get addicted to natural fruits and they're not horrible, but if your body isn't designed the way it can just digest it, that could be harmful as well. All right. So if you stay to the end, as I mentioned, I'll give you guys that link. So I'm going to skip over to the 7 culprits. And here they are right here: eating too much sugar, consuming foods that stall your metabolism, having unbalanced hormones, not exercising. Even though you guys are young, you still need to exercise. That is not an option not to exercise. And then eating on the go, like not meal prepping, even though you may be going to college, whether you go away or you stay at home, you are still going to be on the campus for probably 8 hours of your day. And if you can take your meals, I don't care if you got backpacks, make the backpacks look cute, but put your food in the backpack versus going to the vending machine. The vending machine is not your friend. And even if you go to the cafeteria, you don't know how the food is made, you don't know how long that grease has been in there, you just don't know the components of how they are making the stuff. So bring your food and it'll save you money. Sounds crazy, but it will save you money. And then food allergies. You guys are eating stuff, you're not paying attention to, you know, is it making your brain foggy? Is it making you angry? Is it making you loopy? Is it making your skin itchy? You got to pay attention to all this stuff. Just because it looks good don't mean you need to eat it. And junk food, again, is not, your body's not designed to digest it. So I know you're like, I don't want to eat rabbit food. You don't have to eat rabbit food when you're eating healthy. There are a plethora of options out there. You just need to be exposed to them. And then eating fresh fruits and vegetables, you may not always want to get them where literally when I say fresh, you go to the store, you go to the produce aisle, because people don't eat them right away and they go bad. And this is why people say eating healthy is more expensive. No, you're just not eating it because your palate isn't used to it. So you're going to have to remove a lot of things that are not good for your body out of your system and start introducing the good things. But if you cannot do fresh because you know you're not going to eat it right away, don't give yourself that excuse. Just go get the frozen one. They do put your fruits and vegetables in the frozen fruit in the frozen aisle. You can get them, and then they'll last much longer. And even if you get them fresh, cut it up and put it in a Ziploc bag, put the date on it, and stick it in the freezer. Don't use that as an excuse. All right. And then the first one I started out with was being stressed and not getting enough sleep. So now that you guys are, you know, some of you all are moving from 17 to 18. And again, you may be moving out the house, living on campus because they are telling students if they want to come on campus, you have to have your COVID shot and you have to prove that. So if you're going to be moving out on campus, now, again, you need to have all of these things that you're going to be responsible for. We know you're not going to be doing a mortgage and paying utilities and things like that, but you are going to be doing everything else outside of your home. Mommy and daddy won't be doing that. And it will be a good thing to give yourself a checklist so you won't pretty much freak out when you get on your own. And this is the in-between session from leaving high school, going to college, and then pretty much being on your own, doing everything that mommy and daddy is doing. And so then by that time, when you're ready for a mortgage and literally buying all of your groceries, gas, and things like that, it's not a shocker. And you are doing what you need to do, and you are just doing it like a king and a queen should be doing. So let me ask you guys, we talked about sugar, and I told you guys that it's very strong. It's stronger than cocaine, and it's extremely addictive. And there are a lot of different names for sugars. And I want to ask you guys, how many different names for sugars are you made aware of? Tell me put the number in the chat. And the reason you don't want to, why you guys are doing that, I'm going to keep talking, why you don't want to have sugar like totally all in your system is it robs your bodies of nutrients and it shuts your immune system down for 24 hours. Right now, because we're still dealing with this virus, you need to have your immune system like not on lockdown, but it needs to be protected. So eating sugar right now should definitely be a no-no for most folks. And that's why I said I'll give you guys the Healthy Treats meal and the link for that. So you can make yourself sweet treats when you need to, but they're not going to affect your body. So how many different types of sugars do you got? What are they saying, Lynn?
Right now, high fructose corn syrup.
So like a number, like put in 1, 2, 5, 60. There's a lot.
Oh, how many?
Yeah, how many? How many
total
that you all know?
You mean healthy sugars too?
Pretty much anything.
Some say 6.
What you got on your mind? What you think? How many different types of names for sugars?
Ooh, I see 6. I see 4. But I know there's a lot more than that.
Sugar is everywhere. Look how many different names for sugar it is. And this is why, yeah, it's a lot. And when you look at the food labels, you need to start reading them. You're only supposed to have 12 grams of sugar or less a day. And guess what? And they sucker you because they change the names. And so when you read in the food label, you're like, see, I'm doing good. But then you're all loopy and you're all hyped and people are like, what's going on with you? And you're seeming like you're ADD. And you're like, no, I'm not hyper, because you didn't ate something that's got one of these names in it. So ketchup. A lot of y'all like French fries. You go into school, go to the cafeteria, and you eat half a bottle of ketchup on 3 French fries. You want a cup of fries with your ketchup. All right, look at that name in there. So yeah, I get it. I'm sorry, I know I'm yelling. I get excited talking about it. But you need to watch this, because when your brain cells are not connecting and they're misfiring, this is when a lot of kids start having challenges in school, and then they want to drop out, and it's a spiral effect that you guys don't have to go through. Okay, so when you are removing sugar and you're taking care of all 7 of those different culprits, you have better energy. The benefactor is losing weight. We understand that. But if you don't need to lose weight, then you're going to end up gaining weight. And if you're already overweight, you're going to have more excessive weight. So we just need to make sure that you guys know how to read the food labels, stay away from sugar, and understand that it is more important to eat healthier. And then pay attention to those different sugars that are in your food so you can avoid them at all costs.
So we have a question.
Sure.
So first they were saying, wow, to the number of sugars. Yes. And what's your advice for artificial sweeteners? So like your Sweet and Lows and those.
Those are, they have other elements in them that will cause cancer. They also kind of like put a blocker on. So you have 2 brains. You have the one here, and then you have the one in your gut. And so when you eat those artificial sweeteners, it's almost like they do a barrier here, and the signals can't go through. What's a good example? Like when you drop your cell phone in some water and you're trying to use it. Okay, now you done messed up the components in your phone because that water is in there. The water was never supposed to be in there. So if you can avoid them, so you always want to go with natural sugars like agave, monk fruit, or stevia, things like that. All the ones in the blue and the pink package and all that stuff, stay away from them at all costs. All right. Any other questions, Lynn? Okay. So I know some of y'all like these Nutri-Valley grain bars. This is what gets a lot of people. You see the sugar and you're like, yay. Y'all forget to go down one where it says added sugar, because if they don't add the sugar in there, you're not going to get the long shelf life and you're not going to get the taste. Everything natural, you have to change your palate on. It's almost like a bland taste. So when your palate hasn't been changed yet, it is still wanting all of this sugar, and they know you ain't gonna buy it. And that picture again, thank you, Lynn. They know most people are not doing cleanses to get them toxins out their body, and they're gonna gravitate to this because you're gonna spend more money on the bad foods. All right, so we got to get you all doing. Yeah, it's horrible, ain't it? And how many of y'all like soup? Think that was good too, didn't you? Make your own soup and take it. That's got corn syrup in it. My husband ended up having emergency surgery because corn syrup causes those kidney stones. And he was doing that, and the grape juice and all of that. It's got corn syrup, and we couldn't. And then just one day, he just kept having these moments where literally, when I tell y'all your body misfired, I mean, literally his body was doing this. And we're like, what the heck is wrong with you? And then one day it just did this. And he collapsed. And we had to get him. And when your husband tells you, take me to the emergency room now, you know something is wrong. And when we got in there, the guy was like, he's not coming home. He's got to have emergency surgery. That stuff messes your body up because it cannot digest it. Yes, it's quick and easy, it's convenient, but you can make quick and easy yourself at home and save your life. So there are 3 things that you could do right now to reduce your cravings. And we were specifically talking about sugar, but it could be anything, because when you're craving chocolate, cookies, whatever, it's because your body has been robbed of certain nutrients. And these things, that picture I want to remind you on the Lynn show, it has a little bit of the nutrient that your body needs. And they know that, but you're going to spend more money on that junk food, and they put it in your face because it's an impulse, because your body is like, I need it. And remember that picture I showed you with the rat and the cocaine? It's no different. The person needs it. They're not thinking right. They're like, I need this so I can function. That's how your body acts with food. And then you're trying to figure out, once you come back to that little time frame where you can think right, where's my money? And then, oh my God, I spent it on Twizzlers again. Crazy, right? So you want to make sure you incorporate 2 cups of veggies in every meal. It's not hard to do. You could do an omelet, you could do a smoothie, you could do a salad, but it can be done. You want to make sure you're eating the right carbs. And there are 2 types of carbs, simple carbs and they're complex carbs. Which one gives you the long-lasting energy? Put in the chat, the simple or the complex. So we want long-lasting energy. Long-lasting energy, you're going to spend less money. Simple.
Complex.
Yes. And I was starting to give them the answer too. So the simple is where you're spending all of your money. And you know, you hear people say, it's more expensive to eat healthy. No, it's not, because when you're eating simple carbs, you're constantly buying them. And that's where all your money is going, because it's quick, it's easy, it tastes good to the taste bud. But the complex carbs give you longer lasting energy, and it's better for your body. You spend less money on this section on complex carbs. When you're doing simple carbs, you're putting excessive sugar in your bloodstream. And then this is when people start having insulin resistance. And so brain fog, belly bloat, hips, butt, thighs start popping out like they got bee stings. Stop eating that stuff. So when you, yeah.
Just one quick thing, if you'll go back, because I also saw a simple in the chat and complex. So will you explain for the younger students why the simple is that quick?
Yeah, so the simple is, I'm going down like your cell phone. I need some energy. I got 15%. If you don't hook me up, I'm going out. That's how your body is. So you quickly, where's the cord? Somebody give me a cord. That is the simple carbs. And then you plug it in, and then if you got one of them cords that say quick charge up, that's the simple carbs. And so like y'all see, y'all get your cell phone, you use the cord that says the quick charge up, and then within 10 minutes, that thing is at whoop, 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 100%. You're like, yay. And then if your battery, if you're not doing what you're supposed to, like overcharging it, things like that, when you take the cord out, then in 30 minutes, you're like, what the heck? This thing needs to be charged up again. That's the simple carbs. But the complex carbs, when you charge up your phone and you charge it up once, it says once, you're good for 8 hours. You don't need to keep plugging it in. You're good for 8 hours. That's the complex carbs. Does that make sense? I try to use things that I know, because I know they don't have cars. So I had to quickly think of a. So when you are putting too many simple carbs in your system, then you have excess of insulin going into your bloodstream, and that the purpose of the insulin is to remove the excess fat. But when it has to do it too often, that's now putting you on the roller coaster, and that's when you're getting the fat storage. And see all them little cute pictures? Remember Lynn put the one in the bottom with the Reese's Pieces? Yeah, they taste good, but that's what's happening to your body when you keep eating that. And then you get hooked on it. And then you're spending money where you shouldn't be spending money on, because now not only are you spending on the junk food, now you got to spend it because you ain't feeling good. Now you're overweight. Now you got to go to the doctor and get insulin shots and whatever else. It's a roller coaster ride of negativity. So I already told you, simple carbs is too much fat in your bloodstream, and your body just cannot metabolize it. So it's not, carbs are not all bad. Complex carbs are, which we talked about, are the ones that you need. Went too fast. That's the stream of energy that you want. So the longer, like once you eat, the longer you can, and if you're eating healthy, your body will give you 2 to 3 hours of long lasting energy before you need to put anything in your mouth. And you will be surprised if you eat healthy, you'll be able to walk past the vending machine and they'll be calling your name, but you'll say, nope, don't need you. So what I want to talk about now is the fake complex carbs. You guys see this all the time. Anything that's white, it's bleached. All the nutrients have been taken out of it. So you really want to steer clear of it. You can actually make these things at home yourself with about 3 or 4 ingredients, and you know what they are. And then again, put them in the freezer, Ziploc bag, put them in the freezer to save them. You don't want to keep buying this fake stuff because it's not good for your body. It really isn't. So choosing the right carbs. This is with chia seeds and some fruits. And then you take a little bit of a plain Greek yogurt. Sounds gross, but it's not. And then you put your cinnamon in it, and it tastes really good. You'll see some of those recipes in the Healthy Treat. So the strategy number 3 would be, again, to eat the protein, the fat, and your fiber, and having your 2 cups of vegetables. So on the grocery shop, I know you don't necessarily have to spend the money on it. It could be a pretend shop, but pretend that you have $100, and then you want to do a nice little presentation that y'all will send back to us of what was your fat, what was your protein, what was your fiber, and then a healthy dessert. Now, if mom and dad haven't gone to the grocery store, then ask, okay, can you give me $100 out of the budget and let me buy this part for our family? Because you can also get your protein frozen as well. You don't always have to get it fresh. That comes frozen as well. So you can also pair up your carbs so that you're not getting excessive insulin. So instead of eating an apple, which is it's kind of like in between on the glucose level. So in reference to the sugar levels on it and how it's going to impact your body, but pair it up with some peanut butter and it kind of balances it out so that it's not a hard impact on your body and it still gives you that sustained energy. And then instead of just eating wheat bread by itself, pair it up with some avocados and some eggs. That's sustained energy. And then you'll last a lot longer. So we talked about the 7 puzzle pieces. They all need to be taken care of so that you function right, your brain works well, so you make good decisions. One of those things out of the 7 goes haywire, it will affect your money. If you're not sleeping right, then you're going for the bad food. You're cranky. You're buying coffee. I never drink coffee, but I'm gonna get it today. And then that's money that you normally wouldn't eat. Lynn, am I okay with my time? Okay. So and a lot of you guys are like, well, why would I want to do a spring cleanse? Okay, so a cleanse, I just named it that because I like to do the names associated to the different seasons. You want to do them often because things are changing. Pollen is coming down. We're dealing with COVID right now. Y'all have been in the house. You've eaten stuff you ain't supposed to eat. Okay, so then when winter comes, it's a different scenario. When summer comes, it's a different scenario. And here's another thing. To save money, eat the foods that are in season. If we're in summer, eat foods that are summer related. If it's winter time and you're asking for foods that are typically grown in the summer, your grocers, they're happy to comply with you. But guess what? You're going to spend more money because that's a food that's out of season. That makes no sense. So learn how to work within each of the seasons, and then you will spend less money there. So I want to know how many of you all realize that there are, how do you know, does anybody know when their body has excessive toxins in it? Which will let you know, hey, to me, when your car is, y'all don't have a car before the parents, the cars are out of whack. you know, the engine don't sound right. So so I use that with your body, like okay, you're talking and you can tell, oh, I got mucus in my, why am I got mucus? That's gross. Or my nose is constantly running, or I just ate this and I normally eat it. Now my belly feels bloated, or I got excessive gas, or I'm burping, or I got a white coat on my tongue. What are they putting in the chat, Lynn?
Yeah, look and feel bloated is the number one.
Look and feel bloated. Yeah, and that lets you know I need to clean myself out, because I love it, because I think this is funny what I'm about to say, but a lot of y'all will be like, that's gross. It's not gross. I have to talk about everything. If it ain't coming out, it ain't gonna come off. So if you're not pooping like you need to, it's going to be stuck in there. And it's no different than when, the trash people in my house come on Thursday. And the first thing my husband says on Wednesday, when it gets about 7 o'clock, what needs to go out of here? Open the refrigerator and let's get it cleaned out. Because the trash people come at 7 o'clock on Thursday. So if you're not cleaning your refrigerator, I'm using your gut as the refrigerator as the analogy. If you ain't cleaning it out, you're just leaving that stuff there. Eventually, what happens? If you don't get rid of the stuff that you've not eaten out of the refrigerator, now you got mold, mildew, it stinks and all this stuff. Well, the same thing that you actually see happening to the food in your refrigerator actually is going on in your body. But it goes a level deeper. Now that toxins now is going into your bloodstream, and it's like doing triple duty havoc on your system. So you've got to get that stuff cleaned out. And then if you're not going to the bathroom, if you're not urinating properly, you're not pooping properly, meaning it's not coming out about the size of a medium banana. It's not hard. It's not watery, it's nice, it's firm, and you're in the bathroom less than 5 minutes and it comes out easy, you're good. But if you're straining, that's a problem. That means you're not eating right, you're not drinking enough water. We need to take care of this. For all you all that are going to college, soda is not your friend. You need to get a bottle and have it inscripted with your name on it and put some water in it. Drink that, all right? So those are the things that let you know I need to clean myself out. And so just because you're going to school and you're not a full-blown adult, these tips and strategies are for anybody that's a human. Okay, I just want to let y'all know, because sometimes kids be like, that's for my mama. No, it's for you, because you got a body too. All right. So when if you guys want to get into the cleanse, that's great, but you need to do a cleanse, and you need to do one. I like to do it over a 21-day period, because when you do one on a 21-day period, it's not stressful on the body, and it's not a bunch of pills. It's not, let's drink this and I'm going to starve myself for 3 days by drinking this green drink. No, because it's not training you to use your money wisely. It's not training you to eat the right things for, to make your body healthy and function well. You don't get another body. I don't care what they say they can build and design and all the bio cells, great, but there are certain things that ain't going to be rebuilt and regrown and all of that. Take care of what you have. And then if you can think right, you can manage everything right. You have to be a good steward over your body and your finances. So when you do a cleanse, you just feel good. You won't get the excess of weight, and you have sustained energy throughout the day. And a cleanse, as I told you, is not just the diet. You need to be doing them, I would say, once a quarter. Again, because you're never going to get rid of all the toxins in your body, because we got different pollutants going on. Like right now, our president is saying, I think he said 2031, all cars that are gasoline, that require gasoline, they're going to be banned, because they want to go with clean energy, because it helps you breathe better, it works better with the environment, and it costs less money. So I'm just putting it out there for you. So we already know when you keep yourself clean, you're going to lose weight. When you're just keeping clean, that's all around. Mind is working, you're happy, you're not grumpy, your breath smells good, you don't have the coat. If y'all got a white coat on your tongue, that's just an indicator that you got a candida overgrowth in your body. And that means you ain't taking care of your gut very well. So that right there, that's the easy one. Stick your tongue out and look, see if you got a white thick coat on your tongue. Hey, I need to change the way I'm eating. And then what am I eating? You're gonna have to start taking some things out of your regimen on what you eat. You need good, clean, healthy meal plans. So as I mentioned before, when y'all go to the grocery store for your assignment, you need to do a meal plan for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so out of the stuff that I just discussed with you all, and then again, I'm going to give you the link for the healthy treats. And then I guess, Lynn, you'll tell them where they need to email that back. And then if you all can take a picture of it, that would be great, because it's easy to say, you know, because you don't have to really go to the grocery store, because nowadays you could do everything online. Oh, I'm going to buy potatoes and sweet potatoes, they cost this. I'm going to buy some green beans, they cost this per pound. I got that. I mean, literally, y'all need to detail that out. I'm buying fresh green beans, canned green beans, whatever it is. And then show a picture of the plate of food that you made for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then a healthy snack from the list that I'm going to give you guys. So this is just if you want to do a meal, if you want to do a cleanse, whether you do it with me or with someone else, it needs to be healthy. It's not drinking shakes 24 hours a day. Granted, shakes are good on your digestive system, but eating clean is good for your digestive system. It's the fact that your body doesn't have to do double time in processing the unhealthy, well, I don't even want to call them nutrients, but the unhealthy foods that you're sticking in your body. So I like, all of my stuff is chef inspired, whole food inspired. So whoever you use, mommy, daddy, make sure it's by someone that really loves to take care of your body, and they're using whole food. Not, like I said, pop this can, drink this, and then for 3 days you starving yourself, because then you're going to be hangry and you're never going to do it again. The way I do it, I want you to do it for a lifetime, because if you can take care of this, start now as teenagers, you go into your adult life, and I'm telling you, you can retire early, because Lynn already showed y'all how to do that. All right, so let me give you that's the link for the healthy treats, if you all want to take a screenshot of that. Let me know when to put a thumbs up or one in the chat, so Lynn can see that y'all got it down, or screenshot. Thumbs up. Okay. And that's it, guys. Any questions? Lynn, you want to take me off presenting? Oh, let me stop sharing. Okay. So any questions right now from what I shared? Because we've got some time to ask some questions, and then Lynn will go over what you guys need to do in reference to homework assignments.
All right. Thank you, Sandy. That was awesome. I saw we're all taking notes and getting things down as you were presenting with us today. So we definitely want to say thank you to everyone for your time and attention today. For the field trip or the follow-up. So all of the communication from today will be emailed out to you, including those links that you would like to share, whether you want to join the Healthy Sweet Treats community, or your 21-day cleanse. Spring cleanse. All right, good. Or the investing platform, if you would like to join Robinhood as well. What we want you guys to do is, in order to receive your gift cards, okay, after this meeting is over, we will be sending out emails. Well, WYTV7 will be sending an email communication to you. So you need to look out for that. What we're asking you to do in that field trip, the first thing you need to do is you'll have a budget template that will be emailed with that email, okay? You're gonna take that budget template and you're actually gonna create a zero balanced budget, okay? Looking at everything And then you have your line item for the food. This is where you're going to do your healthy food challenge or your healthy foods plates, and be able to go out and purchase the items that you need for your healthy food plates. And then you'll have a location where you'll be able to upload your pictures of your healthy foods or your descriptions that you've pulled together for your healthy food plates, so that you can return that back to us. What we are asking is that we're going to give you a week to get everything done. So today is the 24th. That means by next Saturday, May 1st, we should have everything emailed back to us, and we'll give you all of the details, the descriptions, etc., instructions inside of that email, so you can make sure that the follow-up is complete. We'll also be asking for your address, your best address that you would like the gift card to be sent to, or your email address, because we can also send e-gift cards to you if you prefer that. So that you can be able to use that and support your new healthy, wealthy lifestyle. All right. Any questions for the good of the group? All right, that must mean we're awesome. All right, so with that being said, we thank you all for participating in this segment with WYTV7 Community Broadcasters Network. And we hope to see you at a future event. Don't forget, follow us and join our podcast. My podcast is Financial Confidence. We're helping you to make your money, keep your money, and grow your money so you can do the things that you're called to do. Build generational wealth and leave an inheritance for your children's children. And Sandy's show is, go ahead, Miss Sandy. Unmute yourself, Sandy, sorry.
My show is Simply Fit with, it's on the WYTV7 platform. So you just go there, find all of the information that I have been presenting to you guys, and much more. So it's a lot more. Just try not to overwhelm you all when it comes to health and nutrition, especially when you are not used to doing it.
All right. Thank you guys so much for your time and your attention. Feel free to reach out to us at WYTV7.org. Also, students, we have a scholarship platform over there as well. So go over to WYTV7, check it out. You never know. There are many opportunities that are available to you. You just go out and get them. All right.